Their journey from despair to triumph will inspire you. Meet Jacob and Irene, a couple whose love and determination turned a life-altering tragedy into a powerful story of resilience and hope. Today, we will take you through their incredible journey, showcasing the strength of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming challenges. Jacob and Irene were high school sweethearts who seemed to have it all. They married in their early 20s, bought a charming little house, and were ready to start a family. Both had promising careers, Jacob as an architect and Irene as a nurse. Their life was filled with dreams, laughter, and the excitement of building a future together. Every weekend, they explored the outdoors, hiking trails, and camping under the stars. Their love for nature was a shared passion that brought them closer. Friends and family admired their bond, often saying they were the perfect couple. They hosted backyard barbecues, celebrated holidays with gusto, and volunteered together at local community events. Their lives were intertwined not just with each other, but also with their community. Their relationship was filled with little traditions that strengthened their bond. A weekly date night, handwritten notes hidden in lunchboxes, and a shared journal where they recorded their dreams and aspirations. They dreamed of having children, traveling the world, and growing old together. Their house was a reflection of their love, filled with photos, mementos from their adventures, and an ever-growing library of books they planned to read together. Jacob was known for his meticulous attention to detail, a trait that made him a successful architect. He poured his heart into designing homes that were not just buildings, but spaces where families could thrive. Irene's nurturing nature made her an excellent nurse, loved by her patients and respected by her colleagues. Together, they were a powerhouse of love, ambition, and community spirit. Their weekends were filled with adventures, from hiking in the mountains to kayaking on serene lakes. They loved hosting gatherings at their home, where friends and family would come together to share meals, stories, and laughter. The walls of their home were adorned with photographs of their travels, each one a testament to their shared journey and the memories they had created together. But life has a way of testing even the strongest relationships. One fateful evening, everything changed. It was a rainy night when Jacob and Irene were driving back from a weekend getaway. The roads were slick, and visibility was poor. Suddenly, a truck lost control and collided with their car. The impact was devastating. Irene was critically injured, sustaining multiple fractures and a severe spinal cord injury that left her paralyzed from the waist down. Jacob, though physically unscathed, was emotionally shattered. He faced the unimaginable, seeing the love of his life in pain and struggling with the loss of her mobility. The first few weeks in the hospital were a blur of surgeries, pain, and tears. Irene's prognosis was uncertain, and the couple found themselves grappling with fear and despair. They mourned the life they had planned, unsure of what the future held. The hospital room, filled with beeping machines and the sterile scent of antiseptic, became their new reality. Jacob stayed by Irene's side, holding her hand through the endless procedures and sleepless nights. He watched helplessly as she endured physical therapy sessions that left her exhausted and in tears. The emotional toll on both of them was immense. Jacob often found himself crying in the hospital chapel, praying for a miracle that seemed increasingly out of reach. Their friends and family rallied around them, providing support and comfort. But the weight of the situation was overwhelming. They had to make tough decisions about Irene's care, their finances, and their future. Every day was a battle against despair as they tried to find a way forward. Irene's injuries were extensive. She underwent multiple surgeries to stabilize her spine and repair the fractures. Each surgery came with its own set of risks and complications, adding to the uncertainty of her recovery. The medical team was cautious with their prognosis, preparing Jacob and Irene for the possibility that she might never walk again. In the midst of this turmoil, Jacob had to navigate the complexities of medical insurance, disability claims, and mounting hospital bills. The financial strain added another layer of stress to their already overwhelming situation. He spent hours on the phone with insurance companies, filling out forms, and trying to understand the fine print of their coverage. Irene's mental health also took a hit. The once vibrant, active woman found herself confined to a hospital bed, dependent on others for even the most basic tasks. She struggled with feelings of hopelessness and frustration. The prospect of a life without mobility was daunting, and she often questioned her purpose and worth. Returning home was a harsh reality check. Their once cozy house now felt foreign, filled with obstacles for Irene's wheelchair. Jacob took a leave of absence from work to care for her, but the emotional and physical toll was immense. They faced mounting medical bills, and Jacob struggled to balance his roles as a caregiver and a provider. Irene's spirit dimmed. She felt like a burden and battled with depression. Simple tasks became monumental challenges, and her sense of independence seemed lost forever. Jacob, though unwavering in his support, often felt helpless and overwhelmed. They had always been a team, but now it felt like they were facing an insurmountable mountain alone. Arguments and tears became frequent, as frustration and exhaustion took their toll. The love that once defined their relationship seemed buried under the weight of their struggles. Jacob spent countless nights researching ways to make their home more accessible, consulting with doctors, and seeking emotional support for both of them. He learned how to assist Irene with daily activities, bathing, dressing, and moving around the house. The physical strain of lifting and moving her took a toll on his body, leading to back pain and fatigue. Irene's depression deepened. She missed her job as a nurse, her independence, and the freedom to move as she pleased. She felt disconnected from her old life and the dreams they had shared. The couple's social life dwindled as they became more isolated, focusing all their energy on coping with the new reality. Their home, once a haven of love and joy, became a constant reminder of what they had lost. The stairs were a daunting obstacle, and even the kitchen counters were now out of Irene's reach. Jacob worked tirelessly to adapt their home, installing ramps, widening doorways, and lowering countertops. But progress was slow and expensive. Jacob's days were filled with caregiving tasks, from helping Irene with her morning routine to assisting her with physical therapy exercises. He became adept at using medical equipment and learned how to manage her medications. Despite his best efforts, he often felt inadequate and overwhelmed by the enormity of the responsibility. Irene's frustration and sadness manifested in mood swings and outbursts. She struggled to accept her new reality and felt a deep sense of loss for the life she once knew. She withdrew from social activities, finding it too painful to be around people who could move freely and live without limitations. Jacob and Irene's relationship was strained. They argued over small things, and the constant stress made it difficult to connect as they once did. Their intimacy suffered as both physical and emotional exhaustion took their toll. They often felt like they were living parallel lives, each consumed by their own struggles. In the midst of their darkest days, a glimmer of hope appeared. A friend introduced them to a local support group for individuals with spinal cord injuries and their families. Reluctantly, they attended their first meeting. There, they met others who had faced similar challenges and found a community that understood their pain. The support group was a turning point. Irene connected with others who had rebuilt their lives after injury, drawing strength from their stories. Jacob found solace in speaking with other caregivers who shared practical advice and emotional support. With renewed determination, they began to adapt their home to be more accessible. They installed ramps, widened doorways, and rearranged furniture. Irene started physical therapy, setting small goals and celebrating every achievement, no matter how minor it seemed. The support group introduced them to resources they hadn't known existed: grants for home modifications, counseling services, and adaptive sports programs. They met individuals who had not only survived, but thrived after similar injuries, living full, active lives despite their disabilities. This exposure to resilience and hope was transformative for Jacob and Irene. They also met a couple, both wheelchair users, who had traveled extensively despite their disabilities. Inspired by their adventurous spirit, Jacob and Irene started planning small trips and outings. These excursions, though challenging, provided a sense of normalcy and joy. They visited parks, attended local concerts, and even went on a short vacation to the beach, adapting to the new ways of doing things. The support group became a second family. They shared meals, celebrated milestones, and supported each other through setbacks. Jacob and Irene found themselves looking forward to the weekly meetings where they could express their fears and frustrations without judgment. Through the group, they learned about adaptive sports and recreation. Irene, who had always been active, found a new passion in wheelchair basketball. The sport reignited her competitive spirit and introduced her to a community of athletes who embraced life with vigor and determination. Jacob also found a sense of purpose in volunteering. He joined a network of caregivers, offering support and advice to others navigating similar challenges. He discovered that sharing their journey not only helped others, but also gave him a sense of fulfillment and connection. Their relationship began to heal. They reconnected over their shared experiences and the progress they were making. They learned to communicate more openly, expressing their needs and emotions without fear of judgment. Their love, once strained by adversity, grew stronger as they supported each other's growth. They started to set new goals and dreams. Irene aspired to return to work in some capacity, while Jacob explored ways to integrate accessibility into his architectural designs. They found joy in small victories and began to see a future filled with possibilities. Jacob and Irene's journey to rebuild their lives was slow and arduous, but they tackled it together. Irene pursued occupational therapy, learning new ways to navigate daily tasks and regain a sense of autonomy. Jacob returned to work part-time, balancing his career with his role as a caregiver. They discovered adaptive sports, and Irene found joy in wheelchair basketball. The sport reignited her competitive spirit and introduced her to a new community of friends. Jacob, too, embraced the change, volunteering as a coach and finding fulfillment in helping others. Their love, once strained by adversity, grew stronger as they supported each other's growth. They celebrated milestones. Irene's first unassisted transfer from her wheelchair to the bed, Jacob's promotion at work, and their first vacation together post-accident. Each victory, big or small, was a testament to their resilience and commitment. Jacob and Irene also began volunteering with organizations that supported individuals with disabilities. They shared their story, offering hope and guidance to others facing similar challenges. They became advocates for accessibility and inclusion, speaking at events and participating in campaigns to raise awareness. They also made new friends through their advocacy work, creating a support network that extended beyond their immediate community. These connections enriched their lives and provided a sense of belonging and purpose. At home, they established new routines and rituals that adapted to their circumstances. They continued their tradition of weekly date nights, now at accessible venues, and found joy in simple pleasures like cooking together, reading, and watching movies. Their relationship, tested by hardship, emerged stronger and more profound. Jacob and Irene also began to give back to the community that had supported them. They volunteered at the support group, sharing their journey and offering hope to newcomers. They spoke at local schools and community centers, educating others about spinal cord injuries and the importance of accessibility. Irene became a mentor to newly injured individuals, offering guidance and support as they navigated their new reality. She found purpose in helping others, and her confidence grew as she saw the impact of her efforts. Jacob, too, found fulfillment in his work, designing homes and public spaces that were inclusive and accessible. Their advocacy work led them to collaborate with local policymakers to improve accessibility standards in their city. They attended town hall meetings, participated in workshops, and worked with architects and city planners to create more inclusive environments. Their efforts resulted in tangible changes that improved the quality of life for many individuals with disabilities. Jacob and Irene's relationship flourished. They rediscovered the joy of spending time together, whether it was cooking a meal, reading a book, or simply sitting in the garden enjoying the sunset. They learned to appreciate the small moments and found strength in their shared journey. Their home, once filled with obstacles, became a sanctuary of love and accessibility. They adapted their space to meet Irene's needs, creating a comfortable and welcoming environment. They planted a garden, growing vegetables and flowers that brought color and life to their surroundings. Jacob and Irene also found joy in traveling. They explored accessible destinations from national parks to bustling cities, discovering new cultures and experiences. Each trip was an adventure filled with challenges and triumphs. They documented their travels, sharing their experiences with others and inspiring them to explore the world despite their limitations. Years passed, and Jacob and Irene transformed their tragedy into a source of inspiration. Irene became an advocate for individuals with disabilities, sharing her story at schools, hospitals, and community centers. She worked to raise awareness about accessibility and the importance of support networks. Jacob, inspired by Irene's courage, designed affordable, accessible housing for people with disabilities. His work received national recognition, and he was invited to speak at conferences about inclusive architecture. Together, they founded a nonprofit organization to support others facing similar challenges. They provided resources, emotional support, and practical advice to help individuals and families navigate life after spinal cord injuries. Their work touched countless lives, offering hope and guidance to those in need. Irene's advocacy led her to collaborate with policymakers to improve accessibility standards in public spaces and housing. She participated in workshops, helped draft new legislation, and worked with architects and city planners to create more inclusive environments. Her efforts resulted in tangible changes that improved the quality of life for many individuals with disabilities. Jacob's designs revolutionized the concept of accessible housing, incorporating not only physical accessibility, but also aesthetic appeal and affordability. He was featured in architectural magazines, and his projects were celebrated as models of inclusive design. His work inspired other architects and builders to prioritize accessibility in their projects. Their nonprofit organization, Rise Again, became a beacon of hope for individuals and families navigating life after spinal cord injuries. They offered counseling, financial assistance, adaptive equipment, and peer support groups. Jacob and Irene's story was at the heart of their mission, showing that resilience, love, and determination could overcome even the most daunting challenges. Organization also provided educational programs teaching communities about disability awareness and the importance of inclusivity. They organized events, workshops, and seminars, bringing together experts, advocates, and individuals with disabilities to share knowledge and experiences. Their work fostered a culture of understanding and acceptance, breaking down barriers and changing perceptions. Jacob and Irene's personal lives continued to flourish. They celebrated their anniversaries with joy and gratitude, reflecting on their journey and the strength they had gained. They embraced new hobbies, from painting to gardening, finding creative outlets that brought them peace and happiness. They also became foster parents, opening their home to children with disabilities. Their experience and compassion made them ideal caregivers, and they found immense joy in providing a loving and supportive environment for their foster children. This new chapter in their lives brought them closer together and deepened their sense of purpose. Jacob and Irene's story touched many lives. They were invited to speak at national and international conferences, sharing their journey and advocating for change. Their work was recognized with numerous awards, but their greatest reward was the knowledge that they were making a difference. Jacob and Irene's journey from despair to triumph is a testament to the power of love, resilience, and community. They turned their darkest days into a beacon of hope for others, showing that even the most devastating tragedies can lead to profound growth and positive change. Their story reminds us that no matter how insurmountable the challenges may seem, with determination and support, we can overcome anything. If Jacob and Irene's journey inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more motivational stories. Let's spread the power of resilience and hope together.